Bonus round. Bonus round. Bonus round.
Yeah, sorry. Move over, Sparksy. We've got a new main DPS in town. Now, the 3rd anniversary for Honkai Star Rail has been going on for about a week at this point, and with it came some huge Currency Wars updates. So for this video, I want to walk you guys through how you can use SuperWolf and the new Elation Bond Synergy to absolutely breeze through Currency Wars. Now to start, how does the Elation Bond Synergy actually work? Well, it functions similarly to other bonds that create a unit for you like Wolf Hunt, but with a splash of some youngest child favoritism. In the Elation Bond's case, once the bond is activated, you'll actually spawn AHA on your board. They'll function as both on-field and off-field, have a unique Currency Wars speed stat tied to their star rating and equipment, and actually come with 3 pieces of basic equipment that are randomized each run. Now, for these pieces of equipment, they're locked until you reach bond levels 3, 4, and 5, but once they're unlocked, you can combine basic equipment you get during your run to deck out AHA's loadout. It's pretty interesting in concept since AHA stats get added onto your Elation unit stats during the AHA instance. This means offensive items like the Firestorm Surge can stack and be applied during all Elation unit Elation seals, which gets exponentially stronger if you've pulled and built any of them. However, outside of offensive items, I also personally really like building a caloric overload on AHA when I can, mainly because it just provides a surprising amount of survivability to my team as a whole. Anyways, the AHA instance also has some functional changes in Currency Wars as well. For starters, again, Elation units that use an Elation skill can trigger AHA's equipment effects and gain stat bonuses from AHA. And 2, when the AHA instance occurs, you also roll for additional punchline. Winning big will also further increase the lucky strike chance for your units. All in all, these Currency Wars changes are designed to help Elation units keep up with the crazy HP numbers in those higher difficulties. So, now that we understand Elation, how does the Elation team comp actually work? Well, as you might guess, today we'll be riding the flagship all the way to the finish with the SuperWolf carry comp. She's also got some Currency Wars changes, with the main one being her unique Ready Player 1 independent bond. To put it simply, the first time you 2-star her, you'll have the choice to receive a hacking opponent buff item for SuperWolf, or transform her into a higher cost 1-star unit. It's important to keep in mind that this choice only appears that first time you 2-star her for that cost tier. So if you choose the hacking component when she's a 3 cost, she'll only ever be able to be a 3 cost. As such, at minimum, you're going to want to get her to a 4 cost for the added stats, and once you do, the comp can kind of go one of 2 ways. One of the hacking components SuperWolf can get makes it much easier to 3-star her. So if you get offered that component at 4 stars, I'd honestly say take it and make 3-star 4 cost SuperWolf your win con. However, if you don't like the hacking component offered and you have a stable board, meaning you're still able to win rounds, then you can choose to go with the 2-star 5 cost SuperWolf as your carry instead. And because the cost tiers for SuperWolf can vary so much, I'd suggest aiming for at least level 8 before slow rolling just to have a healthy chance at all of the possible costs. Now, outside of SuperWolf, your main supports are going to be Sparksy and Yao Guang. I know, big surprise. Sparksy operates as the sub DPS for the team, so any access DPS items can be thrown her way, while Yao Guang is the key support and is honestly almost more important than SuperWolf herself. And lastly, the items for the team are relatively straightforward. Firestorm Surges are ideal for the Elation DPS since they have so many ways to quickly stack it, and then you want as many anti-grab boots as possible in Yao Guang. Having her proc more AHA instances helps SilverWolf and Sparksy both spam their Elation skills and also maintain their certified banger. And of course, for AHA, their items are randomized, but if you can, a caloric overload will boost your team's survivability by a ton. And then any offensive items can be applied to all your Elation units, with ones like, again, Firestorm Surge or High Frequency Chainsaw going a long way. For the rest of the team, you'll want to finish off the Elation Bond Synergy, so besides Yao Guang, SuperWolf, and Sparksy, you'll also need Evanescia and the Elation MC. Also, it's very important to remember that the Elation MC needs to be placed off-field, otherwise they'll revert to the Remembrance MC. Now, the Elation Bond core is honestly pretty self-sufficient, so what we really need from the rest of our units is survivability. So, any combination of shield or heal that you can grab will work. I've personally been running Hyacinth and Huahua, but combinations like Huahua and Luotra can give you stronger buffing, or Fushuan with Luotra can help you if you find yourself getting one-shot. Moving on, since your goal for the comp is to try and get SuperWolf as juiced as possible, your ideal investment environments and strategies are going to be ones that help you maintain as much econ as possible to help you hit level 8 as fast as possible. As such, for specific investment environments, you have second-hand market and long-term gains that both help you save gold during that reroll process. There's also a special shout out to the red and blue gem aristocrat environments. Essentially, once you activate the Elation Bond for the first time, AHA will give you a gift which can sometimes be a trash bag. So, if you have a spare gem, you can just go ahead and combine it with the trash bag to make an Elation emblem. Moving on to the investment strategies, since you want such specific items, the most useful strategy that I found is Fortune's Favor, since you can just use the Fortune token on either Yao Guang or Silver Wolf to try and get anti-grav boots or Firestorm Surges, respectively. Otherwise, investment strategies that help you with your rerolling like Procurement Specialist and Free Lunch are solid options as well. Alright, with all of that out of the way, let's get to the fun part. How do we get this definitely not Pac-Man shaped ball rolling? Well, my go-to option is always just the damage over time opener. Bonus points if you can add Little Herda to activate the Cosmic Scholar Bond for some extra gold income during that first plane. However, an alternative opener, especially if you find an early Yao Guang, would be the Jianzhou Astral Express opener. It's a relatively similar premise as both bonds can nuke enemies for you to carry you through plane 1. The ideal board for this opener would be Yao Guang, Huo Huo, Skill Point Danheng, and March. From here, you could have Danheng hold SuperWolf's items and even add a Sparkle to provide some extra buffing. And either way, as usual, your goal is to be around level 6 with 50 gold by the end of plane 1. Once you reach plane 2, you'll want to start transitioning into that Elation team comp as you find the units while prioritizing reaching level 8 with 50 gold. Again, if you manage to 2-star your SuperWolf at this point, you'll definitely want to make her at least a 4 cost. That being said, if you've been bleeding a lot of HP up to this point, I'd recommend just committing to that 4-cost SuperWolf to stabilize your board. However, if you're doing alright, you can just choose to go ahead and make her a 5-cost. Just keep in mind, you'll also want to try and reach level 9 for the best odds at 2-starring a 5-cost SuperWolf. Now, some final tips for running this comp. The Elation MC can be pretty finicky with his targeting. Typically, he should prioritize your on-field Elation unit with the most items, but if both your SuperWolf and Sparksy have 3 items and he keeps choosing your Sparksy, I'd recommend keeping an item remover handy to take one of Sparksy's items away. It's kind of annoying, especially since taking the units on and off the field didn't seem to work for me, so this really was the only other way I found to fix this. With that being said, as usual, for those of you who like to have an in-game guide to follow, you'll find the strategy compendium code for this team comp down below in the description. And that about does it for today's video. As always, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe for more Currency War and Honkai Star Rail videos. Let me know how you've been liking SilverWolf's new form so far, and most importantly, have a blessed day.